I'm Diane Wolkutz. I'm an education advocate from West Hartford, and I am, oh, there's a distracting delay there. I'll keep going. Basically, I am also a graduate student in reading and literacy instruction, and I'm here because I strongly oppose Section 1 of SB 312 related to essentially using AI for literacy instruction. I don't know why anyone thinks that the state should approve an AI literacy curriculum or any kind of machine-based instruction for students who are struggling readers. And yet here this bill is. So I thought it was really important to say, hell no, this needs to go away. It looks like it was written by a particular publisher of AI reading instruction. The standards they use, they talk about it being evidence-based. They talk about it being supported by research. For a lot of these publishers, research does not mean peer-reviewed research. Peer-reviewed research is the standard. They're talking about the research they funded themselves, or they're talking about the research that's a third-party researcher who couldn't get it published. Um, so it's not valid research necessarily. It also says that this could be used if another state had approved it. And we should not be aspiring to do anything that other states are doing right now when it comes to reading. Massachusetts is number one in the country. They are failing to teach 50% of their students to read proficiently. Connecticut is worse at this moment, but there is no state, not Mississippi. Mississippi's a lot worse than Connecticut, not Louisiana, not Massachusetts, and certainly, if any of these states are using these programs, they're not working. That's basically it. So I want to make sure that Connecticut does not go down this path. And the idea that we're doing high dosage tutoring, um, potentially using AI is just wrong. And as far as the high dosage tutoring, we're attacking this from the wrong direction. You can't intervention your way out of a tier one problem, and we have a huge tier one problem in the state of Connecticut. Um, I'm happy you all are here. I'm kind of a night owl, so I'm up with you. And if you have any questions, just let me know.
Thank you. I don't have a question. Diane, I think high dose tools can be used mostly probably in mathematics, probably high dose tools using a machine or AI, I think probably more better beneficial in the area of mathematics. I don't think in the area of literacy is the best way to use this. What would be your best recommendation um, in regards to literacy improvement when it comes to trying to improve our students' reading levels, especially at the tier one intervention level when you're considering so many students are at tier one levels in many of our public schools?
Right. It's a really tough situation. I don't think there are any shortcuts. And I think that's been part of the problem that we've been facing in Connecticut is we've been trying to take shortcuts. We've been, the high dosage tutoring, when people first mentioned it, I'm thinking, who are going to be these high dosage tutors? Are we paying them minimum wage? Are we, they're not going to be the ones who are going to be able to teach our students. And what we're finding is that our certified teachers, even our reading specialists, haven't been adequately trained in structured literacy in a way that's consistent with reading science. So we're going to have to go to our colleges and universities, our educator preparation programs, and say, listen, you've got to teach according to reading science. It's not something we can do in a week or a month. It usually takes about 2 years and requires a supervised practicum. So that's the colleges and universities. That'll help our newer teachers. For the rest, what I strongly recommend, because it's foundational skills where we're really lacking, if we're not catching kids so they can't actually decode the words on the page, they're not going to be able to comprehend anything.
Mhm.
If I had a wish list, I would make grants available to K-3 teachers, to reading specialists, to special ed teachers to get certified in Orton Gillingham. It doesn't have to be people say, oh, we don't want a program. Certified in any kind of structured literacy. With the supervised practicum, if we have that floor, we have a shot. It's just right now, I feel like we've been putting band-aids on. I mean, the whole right to read thing, we went with curriculum.
Mm.
Curriculum doesn't teach students, teachers teach students. And if the teachers don't know structured literacy, they're not going to know how to implement the program in a way that works for all our kids.
So I would thank you for saying that because what you're saying is absolutely true. I've known this for 25 years. Even our elementary school teachers coming out of teacher prep programs don't know how to teach kids how to read. We know
Hmm.
that. That's a fact, and no one likes to say it, but it's the absolute truth. And even unless you were trained properly on how to teach the fundamentals of reading, there's not a lot of teachers that have that capacity. It sounds like what you're saying is our professional development in K3 should be focused on all our professional development for our
Hmm.
current teachers right now, because you said the long-term plan is to embed this in our teacher preparation program. So in the future, every child coming out of those teacher prep programs, well, in K through 6, will know how to do this. It should be the
Hmm.
hallmark of their instruction, what they learn.
Hmm.
But but that's a long-term fix. The short-term fix could be all our teachers in our pre-K3 program, all their professional development should be done teaching them the science of reading and teaching them how to read. Like you said, a curriculum doesn't do this. But if you're not trained to do this, then we're just spinning our wheels. How do we get how do we get those who are in charge of these programs to focus on pre-K through 3? I just see we teaching our teachers how to teach reading. How can we
Hmm.
go about that with what do you think our best method way we should do that?
You mean apart from the educator preparation
Yeah,
programs? You
we're gonna
mean
we
like,
can do the education prep program as we move forward. We can require that in their programs. I hope we
mhm,
get, but I'm talking about for the people in the classroom right now who don't have those skill sets.
mhm.
How do we get them to? How do we make sure every day every month they have a professional development is geared towards teaching kids how to read? Is that something
That's
realistically we can do? Do we
that
have
is
enough
something.
instructors to teach them in each school district?
Right, right, because the instructors, obviously, they're only going to learn as much as their instructors already know.
Right.
That was why I mentioned Orton Gillingham certification through something like the Academy of Orton Gillingham, because they have very high level fellows
Mm-hmm.
who train. And people sometimes say, oh, that's just for the kids with dyslexia.
Yeah.
It's not. Structured literacy works for everyone and it benefits everyone. It's just that a lot of our students require it. So that would be my off the cuff, it's after, oh, it's almost 11, kind of brainstorming. But I definitely want to continue thinking about that and continue talking about that because I would like to be part of the solution on this one. And I do think that, Wilson certification, letters certification, but it has to include the supervised practicum. It's one thing to learn in a classroom. It's another thing to go out with your student and teach them.
Right.
Um, yeah.
I and I'm the last one to have a long conversation at this tonight, but you are touching the third rail in our educational problems that we have in the state of Connecticut. And everybody think we're doing so great, but I know the real story. And so do you think this Gillingham, do they have enough fellows to provide the in service that we need in the state of Connecticut? Or if we don't, and maybe we don't need it in every school district. I think we need it in every school district because no school
Yep.
district is doing. There's not one school
It's
district
true.
where the kids can read on grade level.
Uh,
That's not one.
right.
Not one.
Right.
Where will we get?
Um,
How can we get these fellows? Do you think it's possible? We probably have this conversation at another time, but just off the cuff, where do we get these fellows to teach our teachers how to teach kids how to read?
the Academy of Orton Gillingham practitioners and educators. I'll send you the link. There are at least six in Connecticut, but they are all over the country. And you can do a lot of the supervised practicum, by sending videos of the teacher and the student, and they give feedback. A lot of the classes that can be online. I mean, it's not like they all have to be, I mean, they could probably do groups of teachers. So yeah, I mean, my understanding is that Orton Gillingham training certification to the associate's level with the supervised practicum costs usually around 5,000 to 7,500. And that's individual. I don't know what, like, if there's a discount rate for, for more students. But it's something that could be effective, particularly around the foundational skills. Um, and it's like if we can get that for our K3 kids, the door is wide open for them to get the comprehension and everything else.
Okay. Let's stay in touch because I really
Yes.
this is where we need to go. Honestly, I honestly believe, and like you said, it helps all children, the kids
Hmm.
who dyslexic, but every child needs this be trained by a teacher that can teach this skill set. And
Yes.
just know we don't have that, and no one's having that conversation about what really needs to happen in our classrooms. And it's unfortunate that those who should be having these conversations are not having them, or at least they're not having them out loud.
Hmm.
So please let's stay and send me an email, reach
I
out to my
will.
so we can stay in touch and try to move this forward for the long term and the short term. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes, Senator, just a word of thanks to you, Senator McCrory. As a teacher for as long as you've been a teacher, um, it 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 took a conversation with a teacher to actually have this conversation, and thank you. I appreciate it, and I know that my constituents are very grateful. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah. This see, and this eliminates. I don't want to go on this, but this is so. This eliminates the excuse that we some kids come to school with a lack of skill sets because they haven't been exposed to things. Some kids come with the holistic model, but all that can be made up. All that can be fixed if you have an instructor in front of them. It doesn't matter if your mother or dad didn't read to you when you was 3, 2, 3 and year, and it doesn't matter if your parents took you on vacation ever since you was a baby, all since you was 5 years, and you have more words and you can review. All that can be made up if the instruction is given at a very early age the right way, and we don't do that. Clearly, there's an advantage if you've been exposed to more things at a very early. Clearly, you're going to have that advantage, but that doesn't mean because you didn't or have not been exposed to it that you cannot make up for it if you have the right instruction, and that's a fact. And we're not having that question. That what troubles me, and I'm glad you're saying what you're saying because not a lot of people are willing to say what you said publicly. Thank you again. All right, let's go on. Next up, Samuel Pappas. Samuel.